There's a reason hostage negotiators don't argue, because in real situations, when someone is armed, emotional, and unpredictable, logic doesn't work. In August of 1973, a man named Jan Erik Olsson walked into a bank in Stockholm, Sweden, and took 4 people hostage. For 6 days, they were trapped inside, threatened, controlled, completely at his mercy, and something unexpected happened. The hostages began to bond with him. They defended him. They resisted rescue attempts. They even raised money for his legal defense after it was over. This is where the term Stockholm Syndrome came from. But here's what's more important than the label. The negotiators didn't storm in immediately. They didn't escalate. They slowed everything down. They built communication. Because in crisis negotiation, there's a model used by teams like those developed within the Federal Bureau of Investigation called the Behavioral Change Stairway. It starts with active listening. Empathy, rapport, influence, behavioral change, not control, not force, connection. In that bank, negotiators focused on keeping communication open. They allowed Olsson to talk. They didn't constantly challenge him. They worked to reduce tension, not spike it. Because when someone feels heard, their nervous system starts to regulate, and when that happens, they become less dangerous. Now fast forward to modern crisis negotiation. Former FBI negotiator Chris Voss has talked about this repeatedly. One of the most effective tools used in real negotiations is something called labeling, saying things like, "It sounds like you're feeling trapped. It seems like you don't feel like you have options." And here's what's been observed in real cases. When people feel understood, they calm down, not instantly, but enough to shift the trajectory. Another real tactic used in hostage situations is mirroring, repeating the last few words someone says, not to manipulate, but to keep them talking. Because talking is regulating. Silence creates pressure, and pressure creates volatility. Now here's where this becomes uncomfortable, because people hear these stories and think, that's extreme. That's not my life. But the underlying psychology is exactly the same. In your relationship, you're not dealing with a hostage situation, but you are dealing with emotion. And when emotion spikes, the brain reacts the same way. It goes into protection. Fight, defend, shut down. So instead of listening, you interrupt. Instead of labeling, you correct. Instead of slowing things down, you escalate it. And now both people are trying to be heard at the same time, which means neither person feels heard, so both people get louder, faster, more reactive. Now compare that to what negotiators do. They don't match intensity. They lower it. They don't rush resolution. They build connection first. Because without that, nothing else works. And here's the deeper layer. Negotiators can do this because they are not emotionally activated. You are. Which means in your own relationship, you don't default to strategy. You default to pattern. Because if you grew up in environments where you had to defend yourself or shut down to stay safe or fight to be heard, your brain learned something early. Conflict equals threat. So when it shows up, you react. Not because you want to, because it's familiar. That's why you can know exactly what to say and still not say it. Because under pressure, you don't rise to what you know. You default to what's wired. And that's the real takeaway from these negotiation tactics. It's not just what to say, it's who you are in the moment you say it. Because if you can slow yourself down, even slightly, you change the entire interaction. And that's where influence actually begins. If you want to understand the pattern driving your behavior, learn your primal wound at 7primalwounds.com.